God Save the King. It's My Country 'Tis of Thee. Yeah. We took My Country 'Tis of Thee and just gave it new lyrics for America.
Oh, I knew that.
I didn't know that.
I knew that.
I had no idea that that's what My Country 'Tis of Thee was, God Save the King.
The music started and I was already singing it in my head.
Yes. Yeah, My Country 'Tis of Thee was our national anthem before the Star Spangled Banner. I think they were probably about 100 years apart.
Well, wasn't God Save the Queen?
I think it's the same music.
It's the same music. They're just swapping out.
They're swapping out. That's right.
King and Queen.
That's right. But
you didn't know that?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised.
I did not. Obviously, the lyrics are different. I mean, I don't think they just swap out the words King and Queen. I think all the lyrics are different.
Yeah, the lyrics are, My Queen of 'Tis of Thee.
Sweet Lady of Liberty, the British Queen. So England, I mean, you know, in kind of a big sense, none of us have ever seen anything like this before because she's been the queen for so goddamn long. So they're changing their anthem. Obviously, her coins will still be in circulation for a long time, but they're going to start putting King Charles III on the coins. Imagine if you go on the coin. And this guy he's 70-something. And so his Prince William is the heir to the throne behind him. So let's say that Charles lives as long as his mom. Let's say he has another 20 years. That still means that, like, William is going to be the king of England in, like, his late 50s. I don't even know if that guy's 40 yet.
I don't think he is.
This dude had
He
to
might
wait
be
for his
just
mom.
40.
Yeah, this dude had to wait for his mom to die. So they're changing their anthem. They're changing their flags. They're changing their coins.
Yeah, he's 40.
He's 40. And I guess it's just some of this has interested me.
Wait. Did Charles not have a daughter?
No. He had two sons. He had Harry and William.
But if he did have a daughter, she would be first in line.
I don't know.
Why?
No,
It's the oldest, I believe.
Oldest.
It doesn't matter woman or man.
I don't think so. I think Elizabeth was her father's oldest.
Okay.
Or maybe only. I don't know if she had siblings.
I think she did have siblings, but I think she had a brother that passed away. I don't remember.
Okay, something
I watched
that,
2 episodes of The Crown.
Okay. Oh, is that about her? Is that what that show's about?
Yeah.
So they're changing all that stuff. The tradition is that on the coins, the successor faces the other way. Like if you ever see a Canadian coin or an English pound or whatever, it's got.
Oh, she's got one sister, Princess Margaret.
Margaret. Yeah, they did a graphic of her taking photos with 13 American presidents. She goes back to Eisenhower and Truman. I mean, she's 25 and she became queen. So her entire adult life, she's been, and there are some people who are like, this is an opportunity to get rid of this old, crusty tradition, the monarchy. There's people in England who think it's nonsense. But there's also a lot of people, if you saw any of the footage of
they love it.
Of Charles, like there's people lined up to meet the guy. So there's got to be, if you ever talk to anybody English, there's a very much like a love-hate thing with the monarchy where they're like, yeah, we think it's like a crock of crap, but also it's so deeply embedded in that culture.
I posted a joke about it's just referencing that she passed away. And then I make a joke about how if I was royalty and I was 96 years old, I wouldn't want to just die in a bed. I'd put on a show the way I would die, and I would just do something a little more exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And all these people on YouTube are like, how dare you? You have no respect. And I'm like, well, I'm not really making fun of her. I'm saying what I would do in the situation. But also, she was fine with it. I asked her. She said, make fun of me.
We, at that show last night, we have a friend who's a comic, Raj Suresh, who's Indian. And he was like, I'm glad she's dead.
Yes.
Bitch, like, go on. But it made the crowd so uncomfortable because we're like, oh, nobody, and Bill even said it, like, no one knows our own American history. They sure as hell don't know what British people did to Indian people. You know what
That's
I mean?
why all these people, like anybody who's darker than Ecru is
yeah.
like, I'm glad she's
Get her
gone.
out.
She did nothing for people of,
Right.
she oversaw a lot of, well, anyway, there was CNN, they had one of the American guys over there, and he's just stopping people in the street, and it's partially generational, too. This girl's white, but she's younger, and he's like, what do you think about the Queen? And she's like, I don't really care, You
heard the news that the Queen is under medical supervision.
I mean, I think it's pretty sad, like, when anyone kind of gets in that position, like, you wouldn't want that to happen to your own family member. But I'm not, like, the biggest fan of the Queen or just, like, the monarchy in general, so I wasn't, like, that upset or overwhelmed by it. It was just something that happens, I guess.
You're not the biggest fan of the monarchy. I wonder why.
Mainly to do with, like, British, like, colonial history, things like that. A lot of things that have gone on which have been quite shady, even, like, recently with, like, Prince Andrew and everything. So,
yeah.
Not really their biggest fan.
Yeah, her son was hanging out with Epstein and, banging teenagers against their will. Yeah, so he got he got a good soundbite out of her because I think a lot of people are like, I'm Sue. Ooh. But yeah, anybody who doesn't look like us.
How is that?
Oh, I'm Sue. I feel strange about you.
Crestfallen.
Similar to your David Beckham impression.
I'm David Beckham. Come see my beautiful wife. And his son, like, I'm married. Those kids, I have no concept of time. So, like, David and Victoria Beckham's kids are grown-ass kids. There's a professor. She's Nigerian. I'm telling you, anybody that look like us, they're like, F the Queen.
For real.
This professor at CMU, Carnegie Mellon, right down the road from us in Pittsburgh, tweeted, I'll read you the tweet. She really went in and then doubled down. And to their credit, CMU's like, look, we don't agree with this, but we're fostering an open, it's free speech.
Yeah, she can.
We're not.
She can be pissed.
Yeah, she doesn't have tenure, God, what did she say? What are her tweets? I heard the chief monarch of a thieving, raping, genocidal empire is finally dying. May her pain be excruciating. Well, this woman's from Nigeria. I mean, Nigeria.
And they're sure this was about the Queen?
Yeah. If anyone expects me to express anything but disdain for the monarch who supervised a government that sponsored the genocide that massacred and displaced half of my family, and the consequences of which those alive today are still trying to overcome, you can keep wishing upon a star.
See, it's always when it affects their family, then they get wrapped up in the politics.
Oh, just because your family was massacred and displaced in a genocide. What about my family? I'm 124th Navajo. So this one.
What about my family that goes back to England, if you trace the genealogy, back to England, and then they came to America on the Mayflower, and we got no generational wealth.
Right.
So they did a bunch of horrible things and got nothing for it.
These sons of bitches. I don't know what they're...
So disappointed in them.
So this woman, but props to CMU for saying, hey, we're not into this because we think it's offensive. We think it's objectionable, but, it's free expression is core to the mission of higher education. You hear that, kids? Mm-hmm. That wretched woman and her bloodthirsty throne have effed generations of my ancestors on both sides of the family. May she die in agony. So she went in.
That's basically what our buddy was saying last night.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Anybody who was ever the British colonies. I mean, Nigeria was under British rule until like the 60s, I think. Yeah. So it's not like 200 years ago this all ended. No. Anyone Indian.
Yeah.
Although he's probably a little young. He doesn't have direct, but he knows the history.
No, he was born in India.
He was born in India.
Oh,
he only came here like a few, 10 years ago.
A little over 10 years ago, yeah.
But were they still they weren't under British rule when he was born.
No, but he remembers it, and his parents went through it.
His parents did, yeah.
Yeah, to hear them talk about it, which... Whew.
Yeah, this guy, I'll play you this. This is one of the anchors over on NBC. talking about when they were doing coverage of Queen Elizabeth's death. And he kind of threw a history lesson at everybody. And he was kind of apologetic about it. He's like, I hate being the turd in the punch bowl here, but this is all facts.
It was her great-great-great-great-grandfather, George III, who we rebelled from to start the United States of America. You played a clip of her speaking in Cape Town in 1947 in South Africa.
Right.
That's the year apartheid took effect in South Africa. That was something British colonialism ushered in. British colonialism, which she presided over for all these years, had a terrible effect on much of the world. It's something that people revolt from. And there's a weakness in the American character that still yearns for that era of hereditary privilege, which is the very thing that we escaped from.
You know what's interesting is that little snippet of him talking about the American weakness, that there's a still part of our brains where some reason we love hereditary elitism. Mm-hmm. That explains a lot of why people are into Trump. People go, why do all these rednecks love this billionaire who doesn't give a fat frog's ass about them at all, plays them all for suckers? There's a thing in the American brain where we're like, I don't know, man. Like, it's pretty cool when somebody's super rich, and Well, Trump's a little different because he just hates the same people they hate. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that mean where people are like, oh, the Queen, they're like,
royalty.
Yeah, royalty. We still have like a thing for royalty, which is weird. That's why some people are like, yes, I wish Trump was my king, because there's a thing in the brain where they're like, yeah, that's kind of why people are into. It's weird.
I'm just mad that she was queen all those years, and she'd wear a lot of hats, but she wouldn't wear the crown that often. And I think that's annoying. Like, if you are...
Especially since the show is called that.
Yeah, the show's called that, and, like, you're the one person that can get away with wearing a crown all the time, and you're wearing all these dumb hats.
Yeah, but somebody else gave her a hard time. There's a woman over on The View named Sunny Hostin, who I think is biracial. She said... Queen Elizabeth wore a crown with jewels pillaged from India and Africa.
Well,
she said that
how
she
else do you get jewels?
Yeah, you got to pillage them.
Have you ever tried to find a jewel in England? They got nothing. It's all horse teeth and pebbles.
Pebbles.
You've got to pillage if you're going to get jewels.
They don't got that kind of stuff in England.
That's how you get child labor.
Yeah.
I mean, you get tiny hands. Doing fine motor skills. You got to get them in the ground. Yeah, she defended a tweet that she said she hoped that the Queen's death was excruciating. Yes, because, again, anybody who doesn't look like us is not really down with the Queen so much. I mean, granted, pillaging, it's always conflated with the raping.
And the plundering.
And there's so much. I don't know how much, I guess all the plundering in 21st century is at the corporate level. But, I mean, back then, there was pillaging going on. And there was raping going on. And you couldn't separate the two. Mm-hmm. They're always together.
Well, who's doing the raping?
Yeah, the original chocolate and peanut butter.
Raping and pillaging.
Yeah.
Well, who's doing the raping?
You got rape in my pillaging. You got pillaging
in my rape. Sunny Hostin, who lived and studied in London, said, I think we can mourn the Queen and not the empire, because the monarchy was built on the backs of black and brown people, just like the American empire was. That's what's so fun, is that we ran away.
And the show empire.
Huh? Yeah. We ran away from being... Well, they always say they left England because of religious persecution. It wasn't that. It said in England, they just weren't allowed to. They weren't allowed to persecute people the way they wanted to. So they came over here and they were like, "Hey, let's do it over here." But I guess I didn't foresee that so many people would be like, "F the Queen." I thought it was all going to be one big love fest. Shows you what I know. Hello, who's this?
Hey, Alan, it's Mike from the west coast of Ohio.
Oh, Mike from the west coast of Ohio. He checks in from time to time, and it's well, I was going to say always a treat. It's occasionally a treat.
Well, that's good. Yeah, you were just talking about how the Queen died.
Yeah.
And when I first found out, my heart skipped a beat. Then I realized Poundcake's just on vacation, so it worked out okay.
Oh, well, yeah, he's in Colorado celebrating his 30th birthday.
I thought you meant that was the Queen that died.
I did want to check, though, on Bill a little bit here. After he kind of Watson massaged his way into a new NFL team, I was hoping that it ended up with a happy ending because he did get blown out.
Who? What?
You know what? Maybe occasionally.
But it was not my team.
The Rams.
The Rams.
I'm not a Rams
he's a
fan.
Chargers fan.
Yeah.
Bolt up. Right?
Yeah.
Bolt up.
They play the Raiders on Sunday. So.
Right. He's a Chargers fan.
I had no skin in that game yesterday.
By the way, Terry the Goat is already down one. She picked the Rams over the Bills.
That stupid man.
Which was a fair pick. But just
way to go, livestock.
Yeah, good job.
I tried. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay. All right.
I guess I'm not talking about it enough. Chargers, bolt up.
Chargers, bolt up.
It's not ram up, it's bolt up.
I don't even know.
Ram down, bolt up.
I don't even know what the Rams like. I don't know what the fan base is called. When I was a kid.
They call it, they say Ram-a-lam-a ding dong.
Oh, they do?
Yeah. They didn't get to say it a lot last night because they only scored, I think, 10 points.
Okay. Yeah, they certainly did not. It was like 32-10.
Everybody in SoFi Stadium goes, Ram-a-lam-a ding dong. I wish that was true.
It's not true.
I wish it was.
Well, it's funny because when I was a kid, the Rams, for whatever reason, were my B team. I loved the L.A. Rams when I was a kid. Chicago Bears, my home team, loved the L.A. Rams. But I didn't know what the fans were called. This says melon heads because they have watermelon on their heads. Of course, another question in Google is, do the Rams have any fans? Yeah, I don't know what their fan base is called. Melon heads are... Du hast.
Rambalams?
Because
aren't the Rams originally from Cleveland?
Yeah.
They're Cleveland Rams.
They were Cleveland Rams, and then they went to
St. Louis.
No, did
LA,
they go there?
St. Louis.
Did they go? I thought they went Cleveland, L.A., St. Louis, or maybe they went Cleveland, St. Louis, L.A., St. Louis. But
probably, yeah. Cleveland, L.A., St. Louis, L.A., maybe? Maybe. The Melonheads are similar to the Cheeseheads that are Packers fans. Although, whereas Wisconsin is known for cheese, Los Angeles is not known for watermelons.
Well, they're known
They
for
don't
another
have
So why would they?
watermelon.
Yeah.
Plastic surgery.
yeah,
That's what it is. Yeah.
melon chests.
You can always leave us messages on the iHeartRadio app, by the way. If you listen there, you'll see that talkback button. If you want to leave quick messages, I think it kind of cuts you off there. But you can find them if you're listening.
Hi, Heather from Medina. So,
she's going to be uptight. Medina. See, I just found this out. Medina was uptight. Well, I got to go to a break. I can't play Heather right now. I got to break.
Oh, another tease.
Oh, Heather. I'll play your message when I come back. Okay. If you want to text 35192, AlanCoxShow.com, you can watch live there. And, of course, you can listen. I've just mentioned it on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show. On 100.7 WMMS.
You're after